This is DSAT News Broadcast with an urgent message.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dylan Sartain.
And I'm Austin Truscott. Today's topic is outlawing the death penalty. State issue
or national crisis.
Let's start with some context. Since 1976, the U.S. has executed over 1,500 people to the death penalty. Today, there are over 2,000 people on death row. The death penalty is starting to decrease in 2022 due to decreased support in pools and more states growing closer to a ban. For the 8th consecutive year, the U.S. has carried out fewer than 30 executions. Texas and Oklahoma accounted for over 15 executions in 2022, while Democratic states barely accounted for a third. It's easy to see through American history the death penalty has been a political issue.
This map shows the legality of the death penalty. The green states are legal, the blue states are illegal, and the orange states are legal with moratorium in place.
The death penalty is a capital punishment that sentences the most serious criminals to death. It is allowed in 27 out of our 50 states. Both state legislatures and Congress can issue this capital punishment. The 4 different forms of the death penalty that have been used before are electrocution, hanging, lethal injection, and firing squad, with lethal injection being the most common. The death penalty is typically issued to murderers, certain sex offenders, and those convicted of treason. The most recent federal execution took place on July 21st, 2021.
This is what a lethal injection bed looks like for a convicted criminal.
Throughout the death penalty's history, it's been riddled with political argument and debate. The Republican stance consistently has been in favor of the death penalty. As Trump came into office in 2016, he returned to the death penalty and even proposed the death penalty be issued to certain drug dealers. 70% of people who lean Republican are in favor of the death penalty. They tend to argue that in cases of murder, it is fair punishment and will overall lead to less crime.
However, the Democratic view has been against execution. Throughout Joe Biden's campaign, he vowed to end the death penalty altogether. The Democratic approval rate for the death penalty has fallen down to 29%. Both Democratic and Republican citizens continue to have the death penalty influence how they vote.
This is what a Republican death penalty protest looks like.
And this is an example of a Democratic one.
On December 13, 2020, CNN published an article titled, "The Death Penalty Confuses Vengeance with Justice, and It is Time to End It." CNN claims that it's time to end the death penalty as a form of federal punishment altogether. This report was released soon after the death of Alfred B. and Brandon Bernard, which were the first time the death penalty has been used in over 30 years. They present the story as a negative concept and are frustrated with the fact that an attorney general can choose how to use the death penalty however they please, even though it hasn't been applied in 3 decades. They claim a process heavily affected by emotions and biased feelings should not be applied to our criminal justice system as a form of punishment.
CNN is a part of the blue Democratic line on here with the decrease in support for the
Fox News published an article with the following quote: "Each execution deters an average of 18 murders, according to a 2003 national study by the professors at Emory University." Fox News tends to take the side of Republican view. They add more positive outcomes to the death penalty. Fox News has pushed out more positive opinions and proposed widening the death penalty to more crimes.
Fox News is an example of the Republican sponsor not supporting the death penalty repeal.
On June 30th, 2015, MSNBC produced an article titled, "The Death Penalty Has an Innocence Problem, and Its Days Are Numbered." MSNBC's opinion on the death penalty is quite apparent, as it is stated at the very top of this article, where it says, "No one should be killed because the government made a mistake, yet 154 people on death row have been exonerated since 1976. The strong disagreement is caused by the outrageous number of lives that have been taken, caused by the ignorance of those who actually committed the crime. They don't seem to support the times that the death penalty has served its right purpose, and they think it should be outlawed completely."
Like CNN, MSNBC represents the blue line with a Democratic view.
Impact from the U.S. The death penalty is the backbone of our capital punishment system. It is a punishment that criminals fear, and many believe that the death penalty prevents murders from happening. However, as the country goes closer to a ban on the death penalty, some believe that this will benefit the criminals instead of the civilians. The debates on the death penalty separate the two parties even more and further divide our country.
Whether the disagreement continues in the future, those who are for banning the death penalty will likely be satisfied within the next decade, as it is likely to be banned. This is an example of someone who supports the banning of the death penalty. Go.
Based on the number of states that already have a ban against it, it seems that the death penalty will be completely outlawed in the next 5 to 10 years. As more states turn Democratic, these views will impact how they view the death penalty. Almost half the states in our country already chose to ban it, and with the exception of a few outliers, more are starting to lean toward that banning as well. Of the states that still support it, 12 of them haven't issued the punishment in over a decade. Each year that passes, less and less people who are on death row get executed. Overall, we predict that the country will be death penalty free in the near future.
This is what's likely in store for America's future. This is our works cited. Thank you.